Welcome to Poland Daily Business, and we'll talk tonight about the Middle Eastern reception of the problems that we have here in Europe. Russia is trying to attack Ukraine, gathering armies and things like that. But how this is being seen from the Middle East? Paweł Rakowski, our expert, Middle East expert, is our guest tonight. And what can you tell us about that? How Israel sees this events?
Well, Israel has a good chance to remind us about its unique role in the world history. I mean, first of all, Israel was constructed as a place where Jews feel secure and they can come from all over the world. And 70,000 Jews from Ukraine are already marching. Are traveling or will travel to Ukraine to Israel. Therefore, it's a big.
So that's a great opportunity from the point of view of Israel.
Of course, 70,000 people. It's a large town in Israel, so it's a great opportunity. Besides in Israel, all the north of Israel and south of Israel is almost lost to the Arab demography. Therefore, they are trying their luck to change it. But also we have to remember that Israel is almost a neighbor for Russia, and that Syria and what's going on in Syria, it's more important for Israel than Ukraine. Besides, the Russians and Iran, it's also very, very important, because only the Moscow can have some pressure on Iran. We don't know if it's a pressure or request or dominance. It's a matter of future. Future will answer us this question. But all the Israelis authorities know that by the Moscow they can talk with Tehran. It's very important. Therefore, and also about 1 million of Israeli citizens. They are so-called from the Russians. They are or coming from Soviet Union or descendants from the Soviet Union. Therefore, the Israel wants to put itself as a neutral, but most of the world sees that the Israel's more on the Russian side than on the Ukrainian.
Well, of course, we see that ban of the weapons sale and things like that, and we can also ask the question: how many Jews from Russia or Soviet Union are actually from Ukraine, and whether they are realizing it or not? What I'd like to ask is, we see that losing the influence in Middle East by West, first England and France, then during the Trump era, the United States basically turned back to the Middle East, saying we don't care about it anymore because we got our own resources and we will exploit it. The Biden idea is not to exploit these natural resources, and again turn to the oil from Middle East, and it didn't work apparently. So that was strange, because the West has voluntarily lost the influence in the Middle East.
The West didn't have any idea about that. I mean, first of all, you said about the Trump. Trump didn't want to leave the Middle East. Trump idea was to make just to make Israel and the Saudi Arabia as its guard of the regional policy. It was controversial, but it had some logic. Unfortunately, after the Trump departure, there was no logic, and now we can see that the return of the American interest, especially about securing the Emirates. It's done without Saudis. You know, the Patriot anti-missiles are not for the Saudis, which are totally constantly attacked from Yemen, but they are for the Emirates. It is something well seen for the Arabs. But what is very important, yes, you're right. West totally lost Middle East, and it will have its further consequences, especially about the quality of Islam. I mean, of the radical Islam or other standards of their civilization, which is in crisis. Everyone says that Islamic civilization it is in crisis. It's not discussion why and how it can be solved, but it's in big crisis. And I think that because of that we will have big problems in the upcoming months or in upcoming years with the refugees. It is unstoppable. Even now we can see that if on some miracles Putin will stop now with his aggression plans, we know that the refugees will come back either on the Belarus, either on the Ukrainian side. It's no surprise. That's the reality that we are going to live.
From Polish perspective, on one side, Germans ask Polish security services to stop this influx of refugees. On the other side, the very German press is criticizing Poles for maintaining the border guard, which is schizophrenia. But if you look at it from the perspective of Russia and saying, who is telling that to you, and that explains a lot. On the other thing, I think this 1968 generation who wanted to, I don't know, get over the fossil fuels and so on. This is the source from which the ideological looking at the world, like the